My God. Comrade chairpersons of the meeting, Comrade General Secretary, in whom I am well pleased, working hard to deliver the victory for the People's National Party. Comrade officers, members of Parliament, our four wonderful, talented, committed, and soon-to-be victorious candidates for the People's National Party here in St. Anne. I feel the Spirit moving me tonight. I feel the victory. I see it in sight. Everything is all right. We're going to fight with all our might to ensure the victory that is right. Comrade councillors, comrade caretakers, most of all of the workers, warriors, foot soldiers, supporters, loyal PNP comrades here in Brownstown tonight. PNP River come down bank to bank in a Brownstown. You look beautiful. Oh my gosh. I want to big up all of those who are online watching us tonight. Wherever you are, in Jamaica or overseas, thank you for your attention. And my people, thank you for being here and building such a wonderful vibe in Brownstown. Comrades, all across this country, I see it in your eyes. The frustration, the fatigue, the feeling that we've been promised a better life, prosperity, but left standing in the same place or moving backwards. Some are worse off now than they were 10 years ago. But I also see something else, comrades. I see determination. I see love for this country. I see people who haven't given up despite how hard it is. And I want you to know, I haven't given up either. It is possible to build a better Jamaica. We do not have to settle for what we are seeing now. We have the ability, we have the talent, and we have the determination to build a Jamaica which is better for all, where quality of life is there and you don't have to run, go a foreign because you can make it right here. That is what the PNP's mission is at this time. Comrades and friends, what is about to occur is not just another election. It is a turning point in the history of this country. It is a moment for us to decide what kind of country we want to live in and what kind of leadership we deserve. Because Jamaica, time come for honesty. Time come for decency. Time come for leadership that cares, that listens, and that delivers hope for the people. For too long, you've been governed by a crew that is focused more on public relations than on serving the people. Billions have gone. Hospitals unfinished. Schools overcrowded. and people struggling every day to buy food, to pay bills, while the ministers get richer with the big pay rise that Andrew Holness engineered and Nigel Clark executed. That is not leadership. That is exploitation. I believe in something different. I believe in good government. A government that works for you, for the people of Jamaica. I believe every family should have access to proper housing, clean water, and health care that doesn't mash up your pocket. I believe in jobs, not just talk, but real investments in young people, in agriculture, and in local businesses in communities. I believe Jamaica's children and our elders must be protected, not used, not ignored, but heard. This is not a wish list. This is our mission, comrades. Because dignity should never be a privilege. It should be a right. Comrades, I don't come to you with a big ego. I come to you with experience as a lawyer, as a business person, as a legislator, as a minister of government, and as a leader of the biggest and most powerful political movement in the English-speaking Caribbean, the People's National Party. I come with a steady hand and a good heart. I come with a team ready to serve. And I come with one purpose: to build a better life for you and for all Jamaicans. So, comrades, that is the standpoint, and that is the orientation that has led us to develop the policies and programs you've been hearing about tonight. When I see a family, a mother with a young girl or a young boy, he has done everything that he has been asked or she has been asked to do. They've studied hard in school. They behave themselves and keep themselves out of trouble. Them get a whole bag of subjects, but they can't afford to go to university or college. And I say no, we must prevent and stop intergenerational poverty going from one generation to the next. And that's why under the People's National Party government, which I will lead, we will have the first in family scholarship program, where any child who is the first in their family to qualify for university and college will get a full scholarship paid for by the government of the People's National Party. And for those who are not the first, don't worry. We want you to invest in your education. That is why we will amend the loan terms of the Student Loan Bureau to ensure that you don't mash up your credit, because your loan obligation will be fixed and capped at a manageable portion of your income, so that you can still pursue the Jamaican dream and borrow a little money to buy the house or buy the car that you have in your mind and still service your student loan, because we're not going to allow that student loan to overwhelm you financially. And if there's any time when you're out of work for whatever reason, we will take the risk of that, not you. Your loan obligations will be suspended for the period that it takes you to get back on your feet. And those payments will be treated as fixed to the back end of your loan without charging you any penalty or any extra interest. And your credit will be preserved, because we know you need your credit to pursue the Jamaican dream. And we know that many young people who have worked so hard to get themselves to a better place want to have their own door key, their own house where they can live. That is in their mind, that is their dream. But the deposit is a huge hurdle that many can't afford, and they have to be living at home with their parents until they get old. That is why we are going to implement the Young Persons Deposit Fund in the National Housing Trust. Any young person up to 35 years old, if they have been contributing to the trust for over 2 years, they will be entitled to a deposit grant, free money, $500,000 to pay down on their house. And furthermore, we know that when we do that, there will be tremendous demand for affordable housing. And that is why the next People's National Party government is committed to building 50,000 affordable homes for Jamaicans, at least 500 in each constituency, at least 500 in Northwest St. Anne, at least 500 in Northeast St. Anne, at least 500 in Southwest St. Anne, and at least 500 in Southeast St. Anne. And we are identifying the lands to do that. We're not going to use arable land that's for agriculture. We'll be using lands that are suitable for housing. And when we build those houses, we are going to give you a discount because we're not going to include the value of the land in the price of the house. So if you're paying 10 million, as Natalie said, and the land value is 2 million, you're not going to be required to pay 10 million for that house, but 8 million, because you will get a $10 million house for 8 million under the People's National Party. So young people, when them come with them 5,000 or them 3,000 or whatever them coming with to try buy you out, think about that $2 million value when you buy your house under the PNP. And I know so many of our entrepreneurs, so many of our very small business people, our hairdressers, our cosmetologists, our taxi operators, our shopkeepers, our farmers would love to be able to access one of those houses too. But they don't have a pay slip each month or each fortnight, so they can't prove their income to be eligible for the loan. And that's why the next PNP government is coming with the rent-to-own house system, where you can go into one of those houses as a tenant and pay the rent equal to the mortgage. And after 6 months, if you've been paying, we say, you don't need to prove anything more. You are ready to borrow the money, draw down the loan, buy the house, and move from a tenant to an owner with your own door key. Because we want to build the ownership society where everybody feels part of this Jamaica land we love. And let me tell you, comrades and friends, we recognize the importance of the creative industries and our culture. And we want to unleash that as part of the economy that can grow Jamaica and make us more wealthy. So we are going to establish a fund of $1 billion every year, which will be available to the creative industries, to the musicians, to the sound recording artists, to the sound engineers, to the artists who draw or paint, to the crafts people, to the content producers, anyone who wants to make a business out of their talent creatively. We will give you a thing to set you on the road so you can step up in life and help grow this economy and help build brand Jamaica, Jamaica to the world. And in the same way, I realize that we have to do something for a special group of people who are close to my heart. My father came to Jamaica in 1953 as the first bone specialist in Jamaica, the first orthopedic surgeon. And there was a polio epidemic shortly after he came here. And he knew about polio because he had seen it in Egypt, where he was a doctor during World War II. And the government of the day put him in charge of the medical response to that epidemic. And he established what was then called the Polio Center. And after we cured and got rid of polio from Jamaica, it grew and became the Mona Rehabilitation Center for anybody with physical disabilities. Whether it be paralysis, whether it be deformities or whatever. I grew up in a family that cared for persons with disabilities. My mother left the civil service when she was one of the first 3 women to become administrative cadets in the country on the pathway moving up to permanent secretary. She was one of the first 3 women in the civil service to come into an administrative position. She left after we were born, my sister and I. Born here, by the way. You see me born. My navel string cut right there at 9 Cottage Common. So anybody want to say anything different, let them go away. Because I lie them I tell. And the polio center, the rehab center, was just a hop, skip and a jump away from where I lived. And I spent a lot of time there right through my childhood. Enough of my brethren are people in wheelchairs and sisterins too. So the next PNP government, being a government that in the last time round passed the Disabilities Act to give rights to persons with disabilities. Now we're going to put some money behind it now. 1 billion a year to support persons with disabilities to have full access to the society that they have a right to be part of and have a potential to help build, whether it be accessibility issues, technology, or other matters like that. Sidewalks so them can go up on it on them wheelchairs safely. The next PNP government will be a caring government for the people. I know we're going to deal with constitutional reform because we realize the system not right. Impeachment, we are going to put that in the Constitution so a man can't go into a car park with a stool and beat up a woman and get video that do it and sit down in a parliament. No, we're not in that. We will support the institutions of good governance in the country. I was the architect of the Integrity Commission because I realized corruption was a terrible problem in the country, holding us back as a nation. And we're going to support the Integrity Commission. All I ask of them is that they deal with everybody fairly. But they must leave no stone unturned. And the government must not interfere in their work. Let the chips fall where they may. How can we have a situation where the most important anti-corruption institution in the country is in court fighting for its life, a case brought by the Prime Minister himself, trying to strike down the very piece of legislation which he's under investigation for? It's a disgrace. It is a cloud over the image and reputation of Jamaica. We are going to support the Integrity Commission. We are going to support the Financial Investigations Division. We will restore the office of the Political Ombudsman as an office that can look into hanky-panky in electoral matters and bad conduct and provide some recourse to all of those who are doing wrong things right now, tearing down people's poster and other wrong things. We are going to look at the gag clause. Right now, the gag clause is too one-sided. We want a better balance between protecting people's reputation and transparency to ensure that wrongdoing is exposed. There are other models that we can use. New Zealand has a very progressive model. We will be reforming the gag clause. And right now, it's only 2 parliamentarians have their declarations published in some reform. The Prime Minister, well, his own can't be published because him can't get certified. And the leader of the opposition. That don't make no sense to me. Every member of the executive who is in government, they should have to have the summary of their declaration published as a matter of course. That is what good governance requires. And the next PNP government is going to deliver good governance to the people of Jamaica. And we want to see Jamaica become a republic. But we don't want a half-baked republic. We want a republic which really reflects Jamaica as a sovereign nation standing on our own 2 feet as a leading country in the world, because we're little but we're talawa. That is why we want to repatriate our final court, which right now is inaccessible. Nobody in this audience can take a case to the Privy Council. It is not a real court for Jamaica, because you have to be a multi-millionaire to take your case there, and you have to have a UK visa as well, which you don't necessarily must get. The Caribbean Court of Justice was established 20 years ago. It is fully funded by a trust fund, which Jamaica paid part of the money for. It is well protected from political interference. It has its own regional judicial commission for appointment of judges, which no politician in any island can interfere with. Time come for full sovereignty. Let us use the CCJ, the countries in the Caribbean that are doing well. Guyana, Barbados, St. Lucia, Dominica, Belize are all using it. Their people are benefiting from access to justice. And we hope the Jamaica Labour Party can remove the veil from their eyes. It was ironically, it was Hugh Shearer back in the early 70s who first floated the idea of a regional final court. And yet now, them a get a fight. It don't make no sense, people. We want full sovereignty, we want full independence, we want decolonization, and we want it now. That is what we stand for in the People's National Party. So, comrades and friends, I ask you not just to vote for the PNP, but to vote for yourselves and your families and your future. I'm asking you to commit yourself to building a better Jamaica, working and walking hand in hand with the People's National Party. Comrades, I think that time has come for us to vote for hope. Time come for us to vote for fairness. Time come for us to vote for leadership that puts the people of this country first and not your pocket first. This moment is your moment. This moment is our moment. Andrew can run, but him can't hide. Election must call, because if him don't call it, the Constitution will call it, and we're going to vote them out, because the people want better. Time come for a better life. So comrades, let us come together and walk hand in hand and make sure it happens. Saint Anne, are you ready for a PNP government? Are you ready for the 4 candidates you have? Are you ready for a government led by Iman, Ma Jefferson Golin, the one them call Marky G? You look like you're ready. You sound like you're ready. You feel like you're ready. Power to the people. Power to the people, I say. One love, comrades. God bless you all.